Yellowstone supervolcano rocked by huge magnitude 6.5 Idaho quake. It rattled the half of the United States basically, and tremors have been felt all the way in Canada. These are some landslides on roads that you can see, rocks falling, obviously. They're loose and they will fall. And we've already shown where that magma, the mantle plume, comes from Baja right through Utah, where we had the Salt Lake City quakes and we're still having them. And this is the shake map, as you can see right where that little hand is, well basically where the end of that edge on the right hand side of the shaking, that extends all the way to half the United States, up to Canada. I would venture to say they felt that definitely in San Francisco, if not also Los Angeles. That was a very strong quake. And we're still having quakes there. We just had two new ones, and three new ones in the past hour actually. Three new ones, the latest one being 3 magnitude and 3.2 magnitude, and we'll see those later. But this is concerning the shaking. It was rocked, as we know, around midnight of March 31st towards April 1st. The powerful 6.5 magnitude earthquake and tremors felt over 500 miles away in Canada. 500 miles away. So by extension, you would feel them all the way down to Long Valley Caldera, which I've just pinned, and we'll show that together, is only 450 miles away. Let's take a look at that together. But let's go to our trusty Google Earth. Okay, there it is from the Idaho. That's where I pinned it. And Long Valley Caldera is about 450 miles away. Now, if we go to, take it to, where would be the 500 area? Okay, halfway towards, no, that's not it. There it is. Okay, I took it off. There. Basically, San Francisco, the Bay Area. Okay. If you swing it around, definitely, what could I tell you? Up to Canada, 500 miles. Saskatchewan, Alberta. I got a comment that they felt it in Manitoba. So that's definitely more than 500 miles. And this was felt out of nowhere. It was a main shock. Let's hope it's a main shock. Very strange, because we had a surprise 5.7 earthquakes a few days before that in Salt Lake City. We had that surprise 5 magnitude out of nowhere in northwest Texas. And then we had this huge 6.5 out of nowhere in Utah. And as we said before, we were warned a couple years back by the geologists that Utah, if there's going to be a volcanic eruption, it would be in Utah. Craters of the Moon, which is like clockwork blowing every 3,000 years. And it blew 2,100 years ago. So in about 1,000 years, they expect Craters of the Moon eruption there, which is like clockwork from what they said. So that's their job. They have to study these things, and through mineralogy and their sediment examinations, that's what they've come up with. So this was the strongest Idaho earthquake since 1983 in Bourne Peak, and that measured 6.9 on the Richter scale. Today's that quake 6.5 struck the southern Idaho region, and the earthquake was recorded 72 kilometers west of Chalice. And as we said, it's about 150 miles west, directly west from Yellowstone National Park. Volcano Discovery said sustained moderate shaking for several minutes. Several minutes, yes. Rumbling sounds were heard. People ran outside yelling. And of course, things fell off their shelves, knickknacks and things, items suspended from ceiling beams, swaying for about 10 minutes after that. That's because they had aftershocks as well. The shaking was felt across the region, including Washington State, Utah, of course, which is, of course, because you saw the map. I mean, Utah, Nevada, even Canada, even Manitoba. One of my viewers from Manitoba commented that she felt shaking from that quake there. And they felt from Idaho in Kilowan, BC, from the Idaho Quake in British Columbia. And she posted a video of chandelier swinging in what was presumably her home. So you can understand how far away this reached. Now, it's also created strange waves on the lakes nearby. Now, the susceptibility of the ground to shaking is a factor, and it could vary widely for given magnitude earthquakes. They have, as we said, seen various strange waves on lakes around there. Now, people in Canada, in the prairie of Calgary, Alberta, also said that they felt the quake. Of course, Manitoba is further away from there than Saskatchewan and Alberta. And some people on high floor buildings felt the wobbling of the buildings for a few seconds. So it's not known if there has been any structural damages to buildings, but the USA is, as we know, along the Ring of Fire, the west coast, the horseshoe-shaped Ring of Fire, which surrounds the Pacific Plate. It's about 25,000 miles long, and is known for its tremendous amount of volcanoes and very strong seismic activity. Okay, these are the various quakes now. These are the ones only above 2.5. These are only above 2.5. If we go to the little ones, this whole map is going to be full, but this is the 3.2 that we just had. Sorry, I think it was a 3 that we had above that. Okay, the 3, okay. We just had this in the past hour, and before that we had the 3.2, and we had another little one as well, but we're only talking about the ones above 2.5 now, and they're still ongoing. So obviously, we saw that before. We have a tremendous amount of magma under there. This is the same magma that feeds Yellowstone. Okay, they don't have any shake maps, but obviously we can understand it's right over the same area. And it's still ongoing, as you can see. Okay. This is Baja, where that mantle plume comes from, and goes straight through Utah up to Yellowstone that way. That cross section that we saw was just like that. And of course, this is very shallow, and that magma is all around there. Okay, so they felt it. Basically, there's Manitoba right there. We saw Manitoba, that's where they felt it. One of my viewers is from there. Let's go a little bit further out. Manitoba, there it is. Okay, well, it's around here. Okay, that's Calgary, Alberta. Manitoba is right here. Okay, so they felt it all the way up there. And they must have felt it in the Bay Area as well. So all of you there, please be very careful, because it looks like something's happening there. I'll leave links below for you for this as well. And this is also by Rachel Russell on Express UK. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.